What is up, guys? In this video, I'm going to be showing you how you can speedrun to 10K per month in profit with a remote cleaning business. And even better, I'm going to be showing you exactly how I've done this multiple times without a dollar spent on ads, no outreach, and no posting on Facebook groups. And I basically discovered a loophole on Google that brings me high quality customers on autopilot. So I'll break down how you can set the system up, how you can actually book these appointments, find a cleaner for them. And honestly, I would not be surprised if you get to that 10K per month mark within the next 1 to 2 months. So let me jump right into it. The first thing that I obviously want to show and cover is actual proof and results of this actually working. So you know I'm not just making shit up. So far for the month of February, we are at February 25th right now, and we are at $20,000 or $21,000 around there in profit with my remote servicing companies. Now you can actually do this. It doesn't have to be with cleaning. There's multiple different industries and niches you can get into, but I know cleaning is a big one, and I have a lot of people who are doing cleaning and are very successful in my group coaching thing or whatever you want to call it. I'm not even pitching that right now. I'm just sort of putting that out there. But I do this personally with plumbing. I have people who do this with cleaning, car detailing. You'll see over here painting. As you can see, one of my students texted me less than 24 hours of getting verified. I got a painting gig for $100. He's actually a painter himself, so he set up the system for his own business. But as you can see here, Stripe payments coming in, boom, 500, same day, boom, 600, boom, 930, boom, 200. Again, this month so far we're at around $21,000 in profit. My remote plumbing company, and this is one of my students who's doing cleaning. We just started working together probably around a month ago. He's already starting to get the ball rolling. Already at 1.4K in revenue with his business. And as I said, again, this is zero ads, zero cold outreach, zero posting on Facebook groups. And like I said, it's pretty much a loophole on Google, okay? So the money printer is Google My Business, but not the way that most people run this. Most people think you can set up a Google business profile for your business, and you actually have to have a registered company, and everything has to be super legit, and Google's only going to let you have one profile. This is not the case. This might be what you're supposed to do, but like I said, I pretty much found a loophole. So as you can see over here is an example of multiple profiles listed for this cleaning service. I got kind of lazy blurring all anyways, you can see these are all the same thing. They're all cleaning services. I just got really lazy with the covering up. And here's one of my profiles, as you can see. Now I blurred out the name too. You can obviously find it pretty easy if you wanted to. I probably showed it in a couple other videos on my channel. But this is the money printer, okay? This is basically a profile on Google that is completely free to list. It is free to put up there. Technically, you're only supposed to have one of these profiles up for your business, and you need to have a registered company with a real location and everything. Reason being, Google doesn't want you exploiting this because it genuinely is free money. And I pretty much found out a system that lets me get tons of these profiles up for businesses that I don't even own, right? I don't own a plumbing company. I don't own multiple plumbing companies, that's for sure, but I have multiple locations on Google for this plumbing company that generate me here. As you can see, this is one profile alone that has gotten me 60 leads in the last month, okay? Now let's put this even into cleaning perspective, right? For plumbing it's even more, but for cleaning perspective, right? Let's say you get 60 calls at an average 50% conversion rate, okay? Average ticket on these jobs is going to be around $300. To be completely honest, it might be even more, but again, conservative numbers. So you got 30 bookings in the last month from this one profile at $300 each. So you're making $150 per booking, and you got 30 in the last month. Now I'm going to do some quick math here in my head. I think that is $4,500. I think it might not be, but that is just one profile. And as you can see here, you've got multiple profiles that you can take advantage of, right? So in the last month, this profile probably made me anywhere from $3 to $4 grand if I'm being super conservative and realistic, or it would have if this was a cleaning profile. But this is pretty much how the whole system works. These profiles can easily generate you 60 leads a month. You just need to set them up properly and do everything right, which again, that's what this whole video is about. So I'm going to pretty much get into that, right? And these are just some numbers I kind of came to my head with while making this. I don't even know if they're really accurate, but just to put some actual numbers on it so you have a good perspective of how, this genuinely does work. If you get 2 bookings a day, and this is again on the front end, this is not talking about recurring cleans, customers that want you coming on a consistent basis, weekly, bi-weekly, or maybe you have customers who are real estate agents, or they own Airbnb properties, or they do some type of Airbnb management, right? And they can send you multiple like, cleanings every single week or every single month. That's not even talking about that. I'm talking about like one-off customers. If you can get 2 bookings a day, you're making around 10K a month. At $150 profit per job, you're pretty much making 10K a month, and that's just literally just right on the front end. And again, when you have recurring cleans and people coming in multiple times, you can easily scale this to 20, 30K a month in profit. Okay, so all you really need is, again, 5 leads a day for 10K a month. One profile can easily get you 2 leads a day. So really 3, 4 profiles, it's an easy 10K a month. Again, this is literally not even considering the fact that a lot of these clients are gonna want you to come over and over and over again, okay? So how do you actually make this work? How do you actually get these profiles listed onto Google so you can start getting calls from them? So the first step, of course, is getting it listed on Google, which pretty much comes down to a verification process, okay? Google wants to make sure that you own this business and that all the information that you put on your profile is actually legitimate, okay? So to list your profile, you're gonna go on business.google.com, or you can just search up GMB. It's gonna be the first one that shows up. And then pretty much, sorry, I needed to burp. Pretty much you are gonna click it, and it's going to prompt you to fill in the information for your business. So beforehand, you want to come up with a company name or whatever. Maybe you already have that set up, and you're going to fill that in. It's going to ask you for an address. So you're going to want to select a commercial address in that city that you are trying to list your profile in. And then you're pretty much going to put your phone number, your website if you have one. It's optional. You don't actually have to put it. And then it's going to ask you to verify your business, okay? So I typically love to do email code verifications for a cleaning business, okay? How do you actually verify through email? So what you need to do is you need to have a business domain with an email. So I use Hostinger, like hostinger.com, I think is what it's called. And it pretty much lets you create a domain, right? You could buy a domain for $1 there. It's like a .shop or .site domain. I would say use .site for a cleaning business. That makes more sense. Or you can just go with like a .com, .us or whatever. Like in Canada, we use .ca. So you can just get a domain there for like $12, and it's pretty much going to give you a free email address that you can use to verify this profile, okay? It's like a business email, which is going to be pretty much like support at or help at company name. So if your company name is Big Dog Cleaning Services, it'd be support at bigdogcleaningservices.com, right? And you're pretty much gonna get an email sent to this. Now, the thing that you have to consider is that not every single person can just do this and send an email and get a business listed on Google. Google is not that easy. They are pretty strict about this whole thing. So what you have to pretty much do is make Google think that your business is like actually legit and real, so that they don't flag you and they don't, stop the verification process from going through or suspend your profile, which is even worse after it's already verified. Now, for niches like plumbing, for example, you will not get away with this. You'll see there's a business video option. That is pretty much what you are gonna have to, like, you have to do a business video. But for something like cleaning, they're actually a little bit more lenient. So an email code will work as long as you do this right. So a couple tips, and I have a ton of videos on verification on my channel if you want to check them out. But a couple tips for you is that you want to first make sure that none of these profiles are connected to each other. So they're not on the same Gmail accounts. They don't have the same phone number. When you're logged into them, it's not all on the same like Wi-Fi network and everything. Google, again, they're smart. So you want to go the extra length to pretty much make sure that none of these profiles can be associated with each other. And the next thing is you want to show Google that it is a real business. You want them to think it is a real business. So for example, having a proper website up that has all of the phone number, that like the phone number, different content on that website matches up with the content of that business profile, Google's going to see it as more credible. If that website is registered in Google's Search Console, that's another thing that's going to make your website, more credible, and Google's going to be more lenient on yourself. A good Gmail account, this is very important. If you just create a new Gmail, right, and you try to make a business, Google's not stupid. Like, they understand that like people are going to try to do this to get away with faking these verifications. So you want to use a good old age Gmail account that's live, your personal account, for example. You can buy these accounts from different places. So you want to make sure that you are doing as much as you can to pretty much prove to Google that this is a real business for them to verify you. And it might take a couple of attempts, right? And it's not that easy, but this is the hardest part about everything. Just verifying onto Google is the hardest part. Everything after that is super simple and straightforward. Like I said, I recommend checking out some of my videos that are more in depth about verification specifically, but this is pretty much how you're going to want to go about this. And in terms of making all of these profiles, you want to spread them out in the same city. So you're going to choose a city that you want to target. Ideally, you want to choose an area where there isn't a lot of other cleaning businesses with a ton of reviews on Google, so that you can actually outcompete them and show up higher on the Google search so that people can call you. And again, I'll show you how you can actually get up to that top 3 mark on Google. Sorry again, but it's usually easy in like non-competitive areas. You just also want to make sure there's enough demand. So you can use tools like SEMrush, go to their keyword overview tool and see how many people are searching per month for cleaning services in that city. I usually look for at least, I would say like for cleaning, at least 1,000 a month searches in total for that city. But again, it really isn't this complicated. This is also a lot of extra stuff like genuinely, it really doesn't have to be that complicated. If you can get 10 profiles up and get them ranking, like you're going to make money. You don't even have to think that much. But again, these profiles, you need to get them up. And then what you need to do is pretty much get them ranking in the top 3. So when somebody's searching for cleaning services in that city, this is, for example, city Oshawa, it's close to me, right? When you search up cleaning services in Oshawa, you'll see these top 3 results. So the first guy, 300 reviews with a 4.7. The second guy, 66 reviews with a 4.8. And the third guy, 4.9 with 34 reviews. So this gives you an idea of what you need to do in order to get to the top. Now there is things like keywords and like SEO and stuff that does help, but 90%, the bulk of it for getting in the top 3 are going to be these 3 things, okay? So you want to get at least the same amount of reviews as the lowest guy in the top 3. So ideally at least 34. Now the good thing is these 2 guys, like for this city specifically, this would probably be a great city to rank into, because if I can get maybe 50 reviews but maintain a 5-star rating, I will most likely jump ahead this guy and maybe even above this guy if I have these things in check, right? Because the thing too is, a lot of people, when people are searching for a service, they are searching with intent on Google. The thing with Google is you're not getting calls from random people. You're getting calls from people who actually need the service and are actively looking for it. And what these people do is they will literally type in their Google search bar, cleaning service in their city or cleaning service near me. So that is one thing that you really want to consider while making your profile, is that you actually have the city and the service in the name. So again, for example, instead of the cleaning ladies, I would say the cleaning ladies house cleaning service in Oshawa, okay? That way you have the city name and you actually have the exact service. So when somebody is searching up cleaning service in Oshawa, it's going to make it rank higher and have a higher chance of showing up at the very top just because those words are similar, okay? That's just a very, very basic, like super basic run through of like the SEO for these profiles. But the title of the profile is going to be the most important part. And again, these like don't have to actually be real businesses. Like all you got to do is bypass that verification. It really is not that difficult. It might take you a little bit of trial and error. And again, I have a ton of videos that go over it, so recommend giving those a watch. But genuinely, it is not that hard. And like I said, get enough reviews. So obviously you might not have, you won't have actually, if you're just starting, you're not going to have 300 people to review your business, or even 60, or even maybe 34. So you're going to get fake reviews. And again, I do want to warn you, like every single big company has fake reviews. Even this guy with 300, like there's a good chance a lot of these are fake. So how are you going to get these fake reviews? You're going to ask your friends. You're going to ask your family. If you know somebody who's in school, you're going to tell them, hey, I'll give you $5 for all your friends that you can leave a review. You know, if you want to go out one night to the bar, you can ask some random people to leave a review. You got to be a little bit like creative, and you can't really have too much social anxiety. If you do, you could just pay somebody to ask people for you. But that's the easiest way to get your first 30. Friends, family, pay people to leave reviews if you have to. You know, if you're in line at Starbucks, hey, can you leave me a review? I'll buy you a coffee. Boom, $3, done, review. So get creative, but you should be able to get these. Like honestly, if you really lock in, if you put yourself to it, you'll get 30 reviews in the next like 3 hours. If you really wanted to, you could do it. So that's the next part. And then you also want to fill in all of those sections. So you'll see there's a bunch of different information you could put. There's a review section, there's a description section, there's a bunch of stuff on these business profiles. It doesn't matter that much what you actually put in them, but Google likes to see that they're filled out. Right? So for example, like this, you'll see it has an option to add photos. You can reply to reviews. You can add services. You can add products. So just literally just add whatever you can, wherever you can. And another good thing to do is use that keyword specifically, cleaning service in that city. So cleaning service Oshawa, for example. As you can see, all of these business profiles that one of my students has made are cleaning services of their city, right? So you'll see brand name, cleaning services of city. Okay, so that's how you want to structure all these profiles. And again, go into a city, spread them out, maybe around a 10-15 minute drive from each other, so that you're actually hitting a different market. Because, for example, if I'm downtown Toronto, that's where I live. If I'm searching for a McDonald's, I'm going to get a completely different result from somebody looking for a McDonald's who lives 15 minutes away. So that's why you want to place them in different areas, because a big thing with Google and these Google business profiles is it'll show the business that is closest to the customer who's searching. So that's one thing that you want to make sure you keep in mind. And that's why you want to list them around 10-15 minutes away, so you can actually reach a much broader market. And that's why we list all these different profiles. Okay, and again, you can spread it out into different cities too, right? There's no one stopping you from doing that, but it's just easier if you just have one cleaner or two cleaners who's able to take care of everything. And pretty much that's all you need to do in order to start ranking at the top 3. Now, if this city gets searches for cleaning, which again, go on SEMrush and just go to SEMrush keyword overview tool. Go on there and search in cleaning services city name. So cleaning services Oshawa, see how many searches. If the total search volume for all related terms under the broad match section says anything over 1,000, you're pretty much good to go. If you rank in the top 3, you will start getting calls, okay? What do you do once you get a call? You're going to answer the phone professionally. You're going to do a little bit of work on your end to find out what other companies in your area are charging, and you want to just quote competitively, like give a very similar price. If it's in the ballpark, like most customers, like over a $10 difference, like no one's gonna really care. So if you guys are ranking in the top 3 with a bunch of good reviews, like people are gonna choose you over maybe your competitor who has not as many good reviews, but they're $10 cheaper, right? So just make sure you have a good grasp of what people in your area are charging, and you just want to quote them competitively. Get their info, so get their address, get their phone number, get what they need done, quote them and everything, and then you're going to book the appointment, right, for whatever time that you agree on with the customer. By the way, to answer the phone, you pretty much just want to say, my name's Eric, so I'd be like, hey, this is Eric speaking from company name, how can I help you? They're going to tell you their cleaning needs and whatnot, and you're going to go ahead and sell them the job, okay? Now, once the job is booked, how do you actually make money? Well, obviously, you need a cleaner, because otherwise you're not going to make any money. So where and how do you find a cleaner that's going to work for you in a way that, one, you don't have to leave your house and like drive the cleaner to the job or anything, and two, you're not paying them all of the money, and you're not, they're not taking all of your profit, right? So the great thing again too is like these customers, they cost $0 to acquire. Most people who will run a remote cleaning business or make videos about how to run these remote cleaning businesses or remote service businesses will run ads. They're going to tell you, they're going to encourage you to run Google ads. They're going to tell you to run Facebook ads. And when you're running ads and you're already spending a good amount of money, it's really hard to find a cleaner who's going to leave you even profitable in the first place, right? Like even just like a little bit of profit. This way, you're easily making 50% margins on these jobs. But you do need to find a cleaner who's willing to do 50% margins or somewhere around there. And of course, you want them to have their own tools and their own vehicle already, because you don't want to leave your house and have to do all that. At the end of the day, this is like a remote business. So feel free to do it if you want to set this up in your area and actually do all that stuff. But I'd prefer not to. So this is pretty much how you want to go about it. Go onto marketplace platforms and like local neighborhood platforms. So Nextdoor is a really good one, and Facebook Marketplace is a good one. These are really good because, let's be real here, the people who are on here, they just need money. Like they just cannot get jobs otherwise. Like the companies that get bookings, they're all on Google, right? Like let's be real here. No one on Facebook Marketplace is booked out and has a ton of jobs booked and are making a ton of money, right? So these are the places where people are kind of like, I don't want to say begging, but kind of begging for work. And here's how you're gonna take advantage of these vulnerable single moms who are gonna clean for you. I'm just kidding. But you'll see, like, they're not very expensive. $25 an hour. Obviously, like this $10 an hour. Once you message them, it's not gonna be. actually 10 bucks an hour, but 25 bucks an hour is usually the sweet spot. You can push this even to 30. You'll easily make 50% margins at 30 to 35. But even if you want to get like somebody at 25, if you can, and have some buffer room, that's great. Just make sure they do a good job. Because again, the big money comes with recurring services. So if they're doing a shitty job, you're going to lose out on money in the long term. But I'd say look for anywhere around 30 bucks an hour. 30 bucks an hour, you're straight, because if you're charging around $300 per clean, which is very realistic for a large house. I know like my parents have like a pretty large house, and I think they get their house clean for like 500 bucks, right? So 300 is very realistic. And the cleaner has to spend what, 30, 60, 90, 120, 150. So they have to spend 5 hours cleaning for you to make 50%. They should be able to manage that on a $300 job. That's like honestly a small condo. You should at the very bare minimum, by the way, be charging 300, never less than that. Maybe 250 for like a tiny condo, which will get done super quick. Okay, maybe 200, but like you realistically should be keeping this around 300 or more. And at 30 bucks an hour, you'll always pretty much hit a safe 50% margin. Just make sure these people have their own vehicle and their own equipment. A lot of the time, they're going to be like immigrants, which is totally fine. There might just be a small language barrier, but as long as they do a good job, nobody cares, and a lot of people are actually happy to support that. So like I said, Facebook Marketplace and Nextdoor. So you just want to scroll through and literally like you'll see, hey, I'm looking for someone to clean my home, right? And people are going to comment with like self-promotion or whatever, right? Professional house cleaning, flat rates only, whatever. So this is probably a company I wouldn't go with this, but make sure you're getting like individual cleaners, like on Nextdoor and like on Facebook as well. Just go ahead and message multiple people, tell them like, hey, I run a cleaning business. I run a local cleaning business. I'm just looking to partner with some cleaners, right? And then when you're on the phone with them, you want to get their number from these apps, by the way, and call them. And you just want to sort of explain everything to them, what percentage split you're looking for, or how you want to structure the payment, whether it's hourly, like how you want to go about everything. Tell them like, hey, I'm running ads, I'm doing all this stuff, so I'm really not pocketing much. This is kind of just like a side project, but I still do want to put a little bit of money in my pocket. So let's work this out, right? Frame it in a way that people don't feel like they're being taken advantage of. And you send the cleaner the details every time you book an appointment. Send them the address. I don't recommend sending the phone number. I would just send them the address, give them the details like, hey, 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom, whatever. And they're going to do the work. You're going to go ahead and invoice this customer. Now, again, like, you don't actually really have to do this properly at the end of the day. If you really wanted to, like, and I'm just saying this because I did it, and I feel like a lot of the people here are going to have some sort of resistance to starting this now, saying, oh, I got to invoice the customer and I'll do all of this. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, if that's putting you off from starting a business, you probably weren't going to succeed in the first place. But just so you know, and I'm just going to be straight up about it. It's probably not a good thing to say publicly. In the beginning, I was just sending fake invoices. Like, I had a fake company name. I just tell ChatGPT to make the invoice, send it over, get the payment, and then that's it. But anyways, you can run it like that. I don't recommend doing that. Maybe in the beginning. Anyways, doesn't matter. Pay the cleaner, pay them whatever you agreed on, and you keep the profit, okay? Realistically, you should be making around $200 per job. That's what I was making, like off pretty much all of my cleans. I was making 200. But let's say conservative, right? You're getting 2 bookings a day. You make 150 from each, right? And again, this is the front end. You should be getting recurring clients to the point where at some point, like, you won't even need to handle new jobs and get new jobs. It'll obviously help and you'll make more money, but that's pretty much it. I recommend, if you're going into this as a game plan, set up 4 profiles for now, rank them, do all of the stuff that I said, go and find a good city, rank them to the top 3, so get those reviews and everything. And once that's sort of automated and you have that set up, then you can go ahead and expand more profiles. You can even hire a virtual assistant to answer your phone, which is someone you can hire from abroad on like a freelance platform like Upwork or Fiverr, or I usually hire from onlinejobs.ph. They're from the Philippines. They're really good. And $5 an hour, they're answering all your calls, managing everything, talking to all the customers. They do everything, and you can focus on just scaling this up, right? So that is essentially it. Like, they're really, it's not that complicated. I know I yapped for a really long time. However, I've made hundreds of thousands of dollars by the age of 19 doing remote service businesses like this. Now, to be fair, I didn't make that much cleaning, But with my plumbing and car detailing businesses, those did both over 6 figures in profit. So I'm telling you guys, this really works. I have multiple students in my like one-on-one coaching group that are making good money doing this stuff. If you're interested in that, obviously, like everybody who posts YouTube videos and anything on social media, I sell something. I do have a coaching program for people who want help setting this up one-on-one, so you can actually scale this business yourself to 10K per month within the next 30 to 60 days with like an actual game plan and predictability and someone there guiding you and telling you exactly what to do for your personal situation. If you're interested in that, see if it's a good fit, book a call with the link in the description. We'll pretty much jump on a meeting, we'll chat, I'll ask you some questions, and we'll figure out whether it makes sense for you to do. And shit, if it does, I'll take your money, I'll make you more money, and everyone's happy. So that's pretty much it for the video. I will say, if you did find some value from it, please do subscribe, please leave a like, and I don't know, leave a comment too so I get more views. Who knows? Anyways, I do appreciate you guys all for watching. Like I said, if you're interested in getting this started, link in description to book a call. I also have a school community that is more so for people who are just like really beginners and just want to take this whole remote service business and just start making their first couple $1,000 just to get their, their head in the game. I have a school community. I'll link that as well. That's going to be the second link. That's enough yapping for this video. Again, thank you for watching. Please subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.